Hello and welcome to the Bel-E Scratch podcast. I am your host, Bel-E.
And I am your co-host, Scratch.
And today, it's a new year.
It's a new year.
Thank God.
Better than the last two cat turd years, I'll tell you that. A large bowl.
Well, no. I'm not qualifying that because, all right, look.
I'm sure any amount of cat turd is negative, however.
No. This is what I'm talking about. You got to put things into perspective. 2019, not the best. A lot of people dying, a lot of famous people dying, a lot of dumb shit getting done throughout the world, you know?
Yeah.
And then 2020 happened.
2020.
Which significantly lowered the bar. And now we just exited 2021, and just because it looks better by comparison doesn't mean it was better.
Less bad.
Less bad. Yeah, I can live with that.
Some things aren't always better; they're just less bad.
Less bad.
Matter of fact, that's the only true thing that you can guarantee. You can't always tell what something is, but you can always tell what something is not.
Correct.
And less bad.
Less bad. I can live with that.
Yeah. Hey, but we made it.
Yeah,
that was the goal, you know.
Yeah, that was the goal.
Survival.
Yeah, that's probably gonna still be the goal.
Yeah.
I mean, that was always the goal, but it's now, like,
I mean, it's a shame.
Important.
I mean, I don't have any control over these things. It's a shame that everything had to happen the way it has.
Indeed.
You know, a lot of stress, a lot of sadness.
In generalness.
Yet, hoping it'll give people a new lease on life.
I mean, that's kind of what has happened that's kind of what's happening, really, with, like, the quote-unquote labor shortage.
Oh, yeah.
Because here's the thing, and think about it. In media, when, you know, often this is like a throwaway gag, but in truth, it's actually pretty sad, that it'll be like, like somebody who's, like, from by the time they got out of high school, probably, if they even graduated,
right,
till when they're about 90-something doing the same job. Doesn't have to be a desk job, doesn't have to be just a janitor, just the same thing over and over and over, no variety. And then they die, and in heaven or wherever they're at, they go, "Oh my God, I wasted my life!" It's often used as like a throwaway gag for shows like Family Guy, whatever the heck. I think I once saw it on the cartoon that Bill Burr's making, I think.
F is for family.
Yeah, F is for family, thank you.
Yeah.
F is for family. That one, which, it's aight.
It's aight.
I prefer just pure, unfiltered Bill Burr, but you know what? That's okay. And what I mean by that job situation is, you know, in media, the way it's portrayed, it's they were like 98, still doing the job, same family, same town, and then they die and then realize they wasted their life. Basically, we have already established that there is basically the trope of you die, realize how much time you lost, and you wish you could get back. If only you had more time on this planet. Well, hey, guess what? You have a bunch of people, same job or significantly, you know, just bad situation, day in, day out.
Yeah.
And then death stared them in the face 2 years ago in 2020. They literally had to contemplate death. Yeah.
Death.
They didn't have to wait till they were 98. I mean, some more, some less, obviously. They didn't have to wait till they grew completely old and deteriorated before they considered and contemplated death and went, "Oh, I'm not doing this anymore." You see?
Right.
That,
yeah, when
in my altered meditative state with quotes, that is what That is what I believe is, I guess, the spiritual aspect of the labor shortage issue.
Well,
because
nothing helps you appreciate life more than death.
Exactly.
I think everybody hearing this has someone they know or someone they're related to that's no longer here.
Yeah.
Because of the beer flu.
Yeah.
And, so, it's unfortunate.
Yes, very.
Well, the thing about it is the only way, there has to be a positive outcome from this, I guess.
I guess.
If this is it, then,
if the positive thing that comes out of this is a generation, if not 2 or 3-ish, maybe 3.5 if we ever get there. If there has been a positive spin for basically the current generations, it's we're not gonna wait until we're elderly, where we have no energy, time, or youth left, or strength, or anything.
Strength left, yeah.
In order to change.
Or
change the directory. They don't want to be people in the factory. They want to live out in the open or travel or have what's so fucked up?
What?
It's not purely just the whole, I don't want to... There is that element, and there are the people who just don't want to work at all. They're not doing it for one reason or another, other than they just don't want to.
Sure.
There is always that element in these sort of situations, so I'm not counting them as the whole majority of the labor shortage folk.
No.
But... what the hell was I going to say?
Well, ultimately,
I got wrapped up in my own philosophies.
It's going to affect the national GDP around the parameters of less folk in the job sector, less folk earning, less taxes getting paid. And I do not understand where the overlords in North America expect to get that tax revenue. Now, you can print more money, but you got to have something to back it up a little.
Just a little.
Our debt has just outpaced our GDP for the first time in the history just within the last 10 years. So I understand.
Why are you Bobby Boucher? I'm sorry. I'm not really here right now. So the debt outpaced the GDP. Look, here's the thing. Our currency is basically a giant poker night bluff at this point.
Well, all fiat currency ultimately is.
Yeah, true.
But that's just the way, everybody goes, because it's so strange because people talk about it based on what's going on in North America. And it's like, paper money has always been this play. It's monopoly money.
It's bullshit!
Yeah, it's all bullshit.
In the Forex market, you have to wonder at what point do any of these national countries that, like the major currencies running against each other, the dollar, the pound, the euro, the yen, the
New Zealand dollar, the
New Zealand dollar,
Canadian dollar,
Russian?
No, franc.
Wait,
Swiss franc.
Oh, okay, I was about to say, I thought francs was French, but okay, Swiss franc.
It is.
Okay.
Those are the big ones. No, Swiss franc.
Yeah. But whatever, ruble? No, that's Russian. Rubles.
Yeah, that's Russian.
I think it's rubles. I don't know what the hell India's currency is or China's currency. I know, let me phrase it. I know what China's currency is. I don't know how to say it.
Yeah, I can see the word in my mind. But
yeah, me too.
Rambi.
Something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah. I'm just waiting for the time when someone just fucking snaps. Like someone from the Japan Yen Committee, and they just point at Australia and they're like, we're calling your currency bluff. You're just full of shit.
Well,
because all currency is just a bunch of countries playing chicken with each other, but they realize if they announce that the other person's money is fake, then won't people think their money's fake? And then...
That's a very good point.
And then capitalism is fucked, I guess, at that point. I don't know.
No, capitalism ain't going anywhere.
No, it ain't going for better or for worse.
Capitalism has always existed.
Indeed.
This is just... North America is just the first country to embrace it to the level that...
At least until 2008.
To drive an entire public sector. Public or private? Anyway, you can come.
Both.
You can come to this part of the world, and because of capitalism, you can raise yourself up, and that's not common. Not in the entire world, no.
No.
I mean, Russia itself is just a system of almost like a socialistic type capitalism. I mean, you can go.
I mean, you wouldn't really be surprised.
You can start a business in Russia and become
basically,
wealthy if your business leads to that, and any country in the world.
Yeah, it's just that whole thing of
Well, you can come here and just based on pure hard work, you can achieve everything you want to achieve,
and understanding what's happening.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some weird technical stuff going on here, folks.
Yeah.
I don't know. It does that. It's like real loud.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden just kind of levels out.
Levels out and it drops out. I don't know what it is.
Soundboard's too damn complex.
It really is.
Like when I
just set it up and leave it alone.
Yeah, no, I get it. I'm just thinking like I was initially going like, okay, messing with the soundboard, he's probably gonna get like the preschool version, which is like 2 or 3 dials and 5 sliders and a bunch of bright orange and yellow buttons.
That's definitely the elementary or the middle school soundboard there.
What? Yeah. That is the middle school soundboard?
Well, yeah, I mean, they make them much bigger. But we only have...
something smaller than that.
Well, we only have one microphone.
Sure.
One input, one output to the recorder. That's all we have to be concerned about because that's just the nature of what we're doing here.
Fair enough.
No, quality-wise and sound-wise, no, they're all the same.
Sure.
One's just more advanced because it's bigger. That's part of it.
Got more buttons and dials and sliders, yeah.
So, you remember where you were going with that?
With what?
Exactly. All right.
Remind me.
I'm not sure if I can remember myself.
So shut the fuck up.
Yeah, exactly. No, we had a good time last night.
Oh, yeah. We went and saw some music.
Went and saw some music. Band called Wildfire. And buddy of mine.
Yeah. Who's apparently a good dude. Like, I didn't doubt he...
Awesome dude.
Yeah, I didn't doubt he was an awesome dude, but I was just kind of...
He's just one of those people when you meet, you've met... If you meet a lot of people in your life, you run across people, he's a little different.
Oh, no. That wasn't the problem. What I mean is that, and this is not to besmirch your buddy.
No, I know.
I just had this happen a bunch of times before. Hang on. Oh, that sour gum is making me salivate. I can't talk. Yeah, otherwise I would start doing that. So, basically what I mean is I have always been on this whole thing about, someone wants to introduce me to their friend. One of my friends introduced me to their friend, and they're like, oh, this is a good guy, hyping him up,
Right.
And then I meet him and I realize, oh no.
Your friend's a douchebag.
Or your friend's a narcissist. Or your friend is probably trying to frame you for murder. Shit like that.
Yeah, you had a couple of those.
Yeah, I've had this is a person you're just buying them free dinners, so that's why they're hanging out with you.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Like something like that where you as the third person outsider go, you see something the people on the inside don't.
Right.
But you're going to be called the asshole if you point it out to them.
Yeah,
like, this is my best friend. Your friend does coke. Fuck you! That's what I mean.
Yeah.
That has happened to me so many times. So when you were talking about your buddy, that was kind of what's going through my mind. And I'm like, okay. And then I actually talk to him and you guys start talking.
Yeah.
And then I go, okay, he's fine. He has his shit straight, you know?
Yeah, he's a cool guy.
Yeah, so now I'm like, oh, thank God, that's not happened again. Oh, thank God.
He's the coolest, most laid-back person. His name's Ken.
Yeah.
We'll call him Kenneth Todd. He's a cool dude. He'll outlive us all. I'm telling you. I remember one time when he and I first met, he had just gotten out of high school. Mm-hmm. And I had been out about a year or two before him.
Okay.
So I got, he was the kid. He literally was like the youngest person in the entire building. And we all used to just stand around, all us men.
Yeah.
All those guys. We stand around complain about this, complain about that.
Yeah.
Man, he just let that stuff roll right off his back.
Good.
And we used to talk about how, it wasn't, he worked hard.
Yeah.
That's the thing that's amazing about someone who's in, that rock and roll lifestyle.
Yeah.
He's very disciplined.
He seems dependable.
He's extremely dependable.
That's kind of what I was happy about that.
Any hang up would be situational. It would be an individual thing.
Yeah, talking to him and hearing what was going on in his life, I was like, this seems very situational. Like, he didn't, there was no point where he's like, that bar that I almost got stabbed in by those guys? I went back there. Sure. There was no point where I go, are you fucking stupid?
I am sure when you play in a band and you're in enough clubs, you're going to run into that regardless.
Sure, no. I just mean the whole hey, this place I almost died at? Yeah, I went back there just to press my luck again.
But
but
in the defense of that, you at least are being paid to be there.
Yeah.
I have been in places that dangerous and was not being paid to be there.
Well, then there we go.
And then we had a couple of incidents.
Yeah, but you learned from it.
I'd let that lifestyle go.
And you learned from it.
I did.
That's important.
That's not one of those things where, you think you're living a good life and then all of a sudden you're staring death in the face. Well, at my point, it was a weapon.
Uh-huh. I know.
So Alex Baldwin special. And, screw that guy. He asked for it. Anyway,
you think you really shot that poor
I
man?
am not dumb enough to believe that a gun went off by itself in somebody's hand, for crying out loud.
No, I know. I just remember the thing that gave me pause. Well, there was a couple things about that situation that gave me pause.
Should give everybody pause.
And first of all, it made me go, wait a minute, didn't we go through this exact fucking thing with Brandon Lee on The Crow? Did this not get fixed in the prop making community? That was my initial thought.
Personally, I don't understand why they have actual guns on the set.
I always imagined they would use guns in the workshops as a reference point.
Sure.
But that's in the workshops, not when they're on set doing the shootout scene.
Well, what happened is
it's a travesty.
Somehow, quote unquote, live ammo found its way onto the set.
Yeah,
I don't understand that either.
Yeah, and then I started to go, and thinking about it. It's like, who the fuck brings live ammo?
Well, here we go.
And then.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but
No, go.
One of my clients, along with being a musician and losing pounds by the dozen.
Right.
He also has an interest in guns, and he said that the type of gun that Alec Baldwin supposedly used, to shoot, was a revolver.
Yes.
And he had told me that, now I'm not 100, he's just a gun person. I have not talked to any other gun person about this. Basically, he told me that revolvers are not like pistols.
Okay.
Meaning, if you cock the gun and then uncock it in a pistol, it'll raise that bullet up and it will put it back down if you cock it and uncock it,
Right, okay.
In a revolver, if you pull the hammer back, the chamber will move, and when you let go of the hammer, not without clicking it, it will stay in that spot, or it'll go to the next barrel.
Okay.
Meaning there's no way, unless there's a safety, there's no way to cock and uncock a gun, and he said he pulled the hammer, didn't cock it, and then shot. It was something weird.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you
what's... the type of...
I'm gonna tell you what's weird
what?
is pulling the trigger on any kind of... or holding a handgun with the barrel of it pointing at a live person.
Especially a person that wasn't an actor.
I want you to take a look at what we're talking about here, right? Because this is a symptom that is going on all over our society right now. It's just like this recent case that took place where there were these riots taking place.
Where?
Last year, year before last, something like that.
Something like
I don't want
that.
to get too many details.
Ah, okay.
And somebody showed up. Under any circumstances, when you got a rioting, looting mob, and whether someone passes away with their interaction with the authorities or not, and everybody's going to say, "Well, how come the authorities did this, or how come these non-authorities people do this? It's a travesty. Somebody got hurt." And that's what they've got everybody talking about. But the main issue is, why was this mob there in the first place? Okay, you see how we're being trained to think about situations. We're being trained. They're not talking about the elements that created the firestorm in the first place. They're complaining about the negative outcome of someone else's interaction. Okay. With Baldwin, we're all talking about what kind of gun, was it live ammo, how did this live ammo get on set, yada, yada, yada.
Sure.
When it all boils down to, you don't point the business end of a gun at a living, breathing individual.
Yes.
Okay. Quadruped, biped, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. So instead of addressing the true responsibility,
which is he still shot her.
That's like saying, okay, well, what if he'd been in a car screwing around and ran somebody over and killed him? Are we going to be talking about, well, hey, the braking system of this particular car doesn't work as well as he thought it should?
Yeah.
Or is the acceleration a little more powerful? No, you shouldn't have been driving like a maniac and ran these people over.
Okay.
So it all boils down to personal responsibility. And we are, as a culture, beginning to shift away from personal responsibility, and this has been going on for a long time.
Sure, yeah, this is not a new phenomenon. We're beginning to shift away from personal. This situation with Baldwin, I'd lay it squarely on his shoulders, because regardless of he pulled the trigger, didn't pull the trigger, I can't fit into my head a gun that just goes off while you're holding it. Because guns fire when you pull the trigger. Indeed.
But I lay the responsibility of it on him.
Yeah.
Okay. He should not have, and then I guess maybe it's because I don't have a history of guns, but my culture does. So I'm familiar with them, and I know you don't point a gun at people.
Yeah.
Under any circumstances.
Yes.
Okay. Are you telling me he was like picking it up off somebody handed it to him, so he was moving it to the other hand, or he was going to put it in his pocket, or he was going to lay it down on a table, and it went off? Okay. Or did he
was he playing with it?
Was he playing around with it and pointed in the direction where people were, and it went off?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I know.
All right, I'll give him that. I didn't pull the trigger. Okay, you shouldn't have been pointing it at people that were breathing anyway.
Indeed.
Okay, let's just leave it there.
Yeah.
All right. So.
Yeah, no. I don't know about the situation. I don't know if we'll ever hear the truth.
So there's this rolling cultural phenomenon of not laying blame at the the source's origin.
Sure.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The pure most genesis of the problem
was this.
Is what, you know.
It should have been, don't be stupid.
Don't be stupid.
Yeah.
Okay. If it had only been pointed at the floor.
Sure. Or it got knocked out of his hands for one reason or another.
Knocked out of his hands for something. But, you know, and, you know.
I don't know.
But he's got he's a hothead. Everybody knows he's a hothead.
Yeah.
You don't have to like him or dislike him or agree with him. Or disagree with him, but he's a hothead. Everybody knows he's a hothead. Yeah. And would he be the type of person that would point a gun at somebody and pull the trigger just playing?
Just playing?
In my opinion, yes. Yes, I think he's that type of person. I think there are people that they don't understand the seriousness of what they're involved in, and they make bad decisions. And it's for lack of a better pun, it's Russian roulette. You're going to pull that trigger. That is exactly what happened to him. Okay, you're going to be a dick for so many times, and sooner or later it's going to catch up with you.
Yeah.
It really is.
I like this. I like this saying. This saying helped me let go of a lot of stuff, and especially involving people. It was, I don't know who the hell said this. This has to be relatively new because I've never heard it before, and I've seen a lot of motivational quotes.
I love original thought.
Indeed.
Anyway.
And it was something like, situation differing, but it was, it was something like, do not seek revenge, or something like that.
Right.
Don't seek revenge. Rotten fruit falls on its own.
It does. It does.
So, and this also leads me into that whole thing of what I've now hereby dubbed is the White House Road life, which is basically all that smoking, drinking, whoring, doing coke, except it's like the southeast version of that.
All right.
There is a song.
There's some grits in there.
Yeah, there's really some grits in there. There is a song called Tyler Childer.
Tyler Childer?
Yeah. I don't know.
I definitely don't know that one.
He's like, here's the thing. You know how, I don't know if we talked about it on the podcast, but we definitely talk about it in real life, how, you know, the whole thing with music is you got to go find it now.
In what capacity?
Like on the internet.
Oh, yeah.
Like mainstream stuff is now just completely homogenized, and if you want anything that's not, caters more to your style, you have to go look for it.
Go look for it, yeah.
Yeah, and it's much easier because of the internet and SoundCloud and shit like that.
Absolutely, yeah.
So there's kind of an element of that going around because, you know, definitely when you were growing up, but when I was younger, I remembered a lot of older country being basically about abject misery. That's kind of the main through line through
shared misery.
Shared misery.
That's how you relate to it.
Yeah,
country music is just
used to be
just white people blues.
I know.
That's all it is.
Nothing wrong with that, I guess.
Nothing wrong with that.
But
everybody gets the blues.
Yeah, everybody. Some people just express it differently.
Mississippi Delta music is black people getting blues.
Yeah.
It's,
and it's good.
And it's good.
So,
hey.
People express the blues in different ways.
Yeah.
So basically I do remember a lot of old country. A lot of it was just misery or talking about really hard subjects.
Right. Well, I mean, you had that representation of people who were just grassroots.
Yeah, grassroots or downtrodden.
And just all of a sudden figured out
the noble savage, the lone rider.
They had a gift to sing or play an instrument a certain way.
Yeah.
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 And they just grow, and all those songs are just people sharing their experiences.
Yeah. Growing up poor, mama's hitting dad, dad's hitting mama.
Same thing happened with gangster rap phenomenon in the 90s.
That's why I like the 90s versions.
Shit. It's just people sharing their pain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now country's, for the most part, on the top layer is just a bunch of, it's summers, parties, drinking beer, got trucks, got legs. Shit like that.
Hey, man, you bring your red cup.
It's exactly what actually...
See, I can make fun of other genres of music, but then I would get called names.
Yeah, but we can make fun of that music.
That's right.
Because we live in that culture.
That's right. Can't tell me what to say. You shut up.
Okay, so...
Yeah.
So that's like the homogenized version of what's going on. But there is, I don't want to call them underground. They're not exactly underground, but they're definitely not catered to in terms of like the mainstream attention.
Yeah.
There's Tyler Childers and there's a third one. I can't remember his name. But the two I remember off the top of my head, it's Coulter Wall and Tyler Childers. I am probably saying Tyler Sturgill Simpson, too.
All right.
I have his drug track, Sound and Fury.
You know, I like his stuff.
And I like his stuff, too. They're kind of in this more, realistic sounding country music genre.
Sure.
So,
more technological. Let's do that.
I guess. Sturgill Simpson doesn't always do that Sound and Fury album. Apparently, he does like normal country stuff.
Sure.
That was just a pure drug album.
We had to start somewhere.
Indeed. So, Tyler Childers has this song called White House Road.
White House Road.
Yes, and it is just fantastic. Like, I'm not a huge country fan. This is a good song.
Right.
Very catchy, very, like, twangy in a good way, not where it's just that one twang sound.
No, I know what you're talking
Like, this sounds like someone actually came in the fucking studio and made those twangs organically. Those music ones.
All right.
You'll know what I'm talking about when we gonna sit down for this.
Sure.
Because it is just beautiful. And lyrically, it describes that whole, like, you'll understand when you listen to it. It describes that, living life, having fun, sleeping with chicks, doing drugs, drinking, except it's this southern version. So, that boy ain't drinking beer. He's drinking moonshine to get fucked up. And
all right.
That whole lifestyle of,
the blue flame.
Yeah, that whole lifestyle of the the drinking, the whoring, the whoring. There is some whoring in that song, I'm not gonna lie. It's awesome. And that whole like just self-destructive lifestyle.
Yeah.
I have dubbed it the White House Road life.
White House Road life.
Which is like the southern version of it. And I'm like, that White House Road life gonna catch up with you sooner or later. It was exactly my reaction to the soap opera that I didn't sign up for. Like, you guys, that White House Road life is going to catch up with you.
Just because your circle of friends and maybe culture has an expectation that you act a certain way.
Indeed.
It doesn't mean you have to.
No.
No.
No, you don't.
No, you don't.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
I don't know.
All right.
That's fine and dandy. Hey.
That drives me crazy.
Yeah, I know.
It's like, I've been there, I looked on my past and, it seemed like, it's like you and I have a good relationship. I have a good relationship with Bro.
Yeah.
Growing up, and every friend of mine, there was this stress and antagonistic aspect to their relationship with their parents.
Uh-huh.
Every one of them.
Yeah.
Every single solitary one of them. And I just remember thinking, when I was younger, when I have kids, I don't, does it have to be this way? No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. 100% of the time, no. No, it doesn't. So, you have to find the path that...
Yeah. And plus a lot of the issue is, I don't know, I guess, to an extent, like, you got to give your child autonomy at times. You got to treat them like they're a person instead of a child.
Well, I mean, even when you don't give them autonomy, it isn't always about not treating them as a person. You just don't.
You don't dismiss them.
You don't know when the wings are strong enough to support kicking them out of the nest.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You just have to have, there's a certain amount of trust that you have to have in yourself that you put the right or less wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Less wrong eggs in that basket, and just hope everything works out for the best. That's what I tell you. That's why I say, everybody, you got to do things with love. You got to do things with love. You make the greatest thing about doing things with love is you can make mistakes and bad decisions.
But you'll be forgiven for it.
Well, it isn't a matter of forgiveness. It is, you just want things to work. You just want the solution.
Yeah. You get a sense of peace about it.
That you can have some peace about it, that everything worked out reasonably well. That's been some of my, one of my hang-ups is I see in the past, have seen a very specific output for the actions and expectations that I have of my family and the things around me, even my own self, which I have succeeded and failed at. But you have to give people their space, and you have to give people their ability to be who and what they are.
Yes.
I don't want people. I don't want you and bro acting different around me. I want you to be who you are. So
fair enough.
And the foundation of that does involve me, but ultimately what he evolves into does not.
Yeah.
And so you have to have a little bit of trust. I think that's one of the biggest problems today is that people don't, as far as parents, they really don't have that faith in themselves.
Yeah, that can.
And I have a huge theory as to why that is taking place.
Propaganda?
Well, I think this whole we're not supposed to be here, and I've seen that on both sides of the cultural fence,
which is still fucking weird.
It's so weird.
But anyway,
you have the more religious side of the fence that says, hey, we're not worth it.
Yeah,
or
you never should have left the garden.
Never should have left the garden.
That's a big one.
That's a big one because they don't understand what the story actually means. But that is for a podcast for another time, buddy.
Yes.
But there's that.
Trigger warning: we're not the fundamentalists. Like, I respect some of you guys, but you got to chill.
Yeah.
You got to calm
and
the fuck down.
And then you have the other side of the cultural fence that says, oh, we're damaging the planet.
Yes.
We're an infection, and we need to be cured.
Honestly, I think if a lot of those problems could be fixed if you just cleaned up after yourself.
There's this thing, I don't know, I see it
in general, I mean, like, across the board, from the littlest person to the biggest corporations. Like, if you just cleaned up after yourselves, we would be bitching about 5 times less.
Probably.
But that's a big, complex thing for another podcast.
Yeah.
Woo! Anyway, you were saying.
It's like people, let's look at the big cosplay phenomenon.
Okay.
The furries phenomenon.
And the scalies.
And the scalies phenomenon. I think it's more of a fad than a trend. I think the overall trend is this nihilistic. I put it to you this way: people being fed this narrative of we're destroying the planet, so we don't need to be here.
Mm-hmm.
So somewhere in that cultural
epicenter,
that cultural indoctrination, that narrative indoctrination. Let's do narrative.
Yeah.
Basically, people are. I'm not saying they're embracing death, but they're definitely relinquishing life.
Yeah.
Because they think we're not supposed to be here. We're causing too much damage.
It's definitely nihilism on cocaine.
That's exactly. I mean, and that is such a subjective argument. Like I've said, oh, we're overpopulated. No, you're overpopulated in the cities.
Yes.
Okay. There's tons. Well, there's nowhere for people to live. Man, there is all over North America, all over the both red countries.
Yes.
That are west of Japan. There is hundreds, millions of acres of unoccupied land. It just hasn't been developed.
Yes.
To where we can have a large community there. But there is plenty
of room on
this planet for the population that is here.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's not our fault it's not our fault that everyone decided to pick one spot and just keep building up.
Well,
although
yeah.
I guess in my opinion, I'm just like, maybe it's kind of something we shouldn't advertise, because if people start to figure out that there's more open land, that you just have to go out and develop it.
Well, that
and
would
then eventually we might turn into Coruscant from Star Wars.
That is a very interesting dynamic. Basically, what has happened is that people have been placed in a mental box. Okay, if you don't want to call it a cage, that's fine. It's still a box. It's a box. It's still confining.
It's containment.
It's containment. It's still restrictive.
For what reason? I do not know why.
But it's put into our narrative, okay, to there at one time, expansion was unbridled.
Yes.
Based on what I read in history. Is it true? I don't know. I read it in a book. Somebody else said it was true. What happened 200 years ago, honestly and truly? People that control the narrative, people that control history. Well, don't you believe that history is history? No, I believe history is history, but I'm telling you, that I have books
by the winners.
Just based on my studies in theology and religion. I have books that are more than 100-year-old.
Oh yeah.
And I make a point to find the oldest book I can find when I get into those situations. And I'm telling you, based on certain doctrine that is tossed around in North America today, the exact same doctrine didn't
it didn't say what you
didn't
were
exist.
Saying. Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't say 100 years, 150, 200 years ago. It didn't say what it says today. So is it right now? Or was it wrong then not to include it? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
that's kind of what you got to do research for. Like, I don't know who this guy is, but he's a stand-up comedian. Please don't do that. Ow. Fuck. I don't know what his guy's name is, but he brought up a fantastic point.
Fantastic.
He says, why don't I believe in the Bible, the Holy Scripture? Because I grew up playing telephone.
All right.
And
you elaborate on that.
Yes, because what he said.
I just don't know the context of that.
No, it's cool. And
I don't disagree with it. I just want to understand it better.
Yeah, no, it's okay. It's okay. I didn't say that to poke at you.
I know.
But what he said was, telephone is this game where you got a long line of people or kids. One line, you say a phrase, and by the time it reaches all the way down the line, and he said that's why he doesn't 100% believe in what's written down in the Bible.
Right.
Is because that's basically people playing telephone for upwards of, let's just lowball and say upwards of roughly 5,000 years, just give or take.
Even if it's just 1,000.
Yeah, even if it's just 1,000. And
it's somewhere between 1,000 and 1,500 years.
Correct. And that's why I'm like, let's.
And from now, I'm talking about 3,000, 3,500.
Give or take, yes.
Give or take, yes. I mean, honestly, truly, the foundation of the New Testament wasn't concretized until 300 years after the ministry of Joshua ben Joseph, Jesus Christ. So, yeah.
So that's kind of what I mean. And to him, I'm like, this kind of falls in line with what I tell people about how we in the West, the non-Hebrew folk see in the West. Let's qualify this.
Yes.
I'm just saying. Look. I'm just saying.
No, just go with it. Go with it.
So basically, a lot of people who look at that aspect purely or just by itself, I say I don't believe this is the whole story,
right?
Because this holy book was not written in English. It was not written
the
in
original
my tongue.
Language, correct?
It was not originally.
Correct.
I mean, some aspects of it was originally written in Greek.
The entire current media narrative is based on reworking words.
Yes.
Somebody with a extreme working knowledge of a thesaurus, can take anything and twist it and spin it and run it any way they want to.
You can change one sentence.
It's been done.
Yeah, and turn it into something else.
And it's definitely done when
agendas are in place.
We go back to. I cannot believe how many things go back to Pearson's pre-event bias.
Yes.
You make it say what you want it to say because that's what you want it to say.
Yeah.
And we as human beings, we do that to everything. It's very hard to get outside. It's very hard to be self-aware. You have to be self-aware of understanding within yourself.
Yes.
That you have, and I can only say this because at one time I completely, at the age of 18, I completely, I repudiated everything that I was raised on.
Okay.
And wiped the whole slate clear and started from scratch.
Okay.
Because I felt that based on the situation that took place in my preteen years or early teen years, that it was all garbage and I just threw it all out and started from scratch. And so what you have to understand, and over time, I found that the majority of what I had learned and what I had been taught was true. And I began to see where the flaws and the mud holes were and the potholes and things like that when you travel that road.
Indeed.
But I mean, you have to seek. I think that the primary motive that you must have is to seek the truth.
Yeah.
And the only issue with that is that you never stop asking questions.
Indeed.
And people you agree with, they'll give you a hard time because you won't stop asking questions. You won't stop asking questions. And the people that disagree with you are mad at you because you won't stop asking questions. And I mean, you have to go beyond that. You have to go beyond that. You have to find peace in the fact that you see things a different way. Doesn't make you better, doesn't make you worse.
You just do.
You just do. It's the way you're wired,
Yes. I get it.
So I know I don't understand the I mean, I kind of do. It's like it's kind of like a way of keeping, I'm not going to say keeping people down
per se,
but it has such a negative connotation. People want to turn it into something.
Indeed.
But ultimately, it keeps us contained.
Yeah.
I've always had an interesting, I've wondered about this for the last 30, 40 years here in North America, is that the North American middle class has basically been granted carte blanche, blank check to live their lives any way they want to. And it is just like any other choice of lifestyle. It has spawned some negative outcomes. I don't think there's, anyway, there's no way any of us could live and not have some type of negative outcome. It's just the nature of how things are.
It's just life, man.
But if it's just life, is it really negative? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I get you.
So, I always wondered how they were going to rein
some of that
middle class in.
Well,
and I think
looks like they put a big dent in that.
I definitely think they put a big dent in it. Yeah.
Which thankfully we are working on circumventing, but that's just neither here nor there.
I mean, my tinfoil hat response to all of this is definitely, they're trying to weaken the middle class of North America, and why wouldn't they?
No, I get it.
Because you can't have the common person, the common man, the common wool man.
Yeah.
You can't have those people have enough power to affect change and outcome. You have to keep them. I don't care what your political ideology is. It's happening in both parties here in North America. Basically
calling people that can actually come in and change things.
So, there's been a lot of things that have happened that have kind of defanged the power of, or the strength. Let's go with the strength of.
So, I don't know. Sometimes it just be like that.
Oh, I don't know.
That's the second. Sorry.
It is. Now?
No, not right now. I just thought of it because I don't want to forget.
Okay.
Anyway.
Did you throw a rock at me or something?
No, I'm sorry. No, you were talking about... No, you were talking about... We started talking about the moves we were making, and then I remembered, half cash.
Half cash.
It was either today or tomorrow, and I just want to know, so... Go ahead. What were you saying?
No, I mean,
weak and middle class.
I like to talk about things in a situation where there's a problem and we should seek a solution. But sometimes do I wonder, is the problem? Am I creating the problem? Is that
by seeking the solution?
By seeking the solution. I don't know.
I don't know either. Man.
Is everything just the way it is because that's the way it's supposed to be, or something else going on? I know it's easy to lean into that. There's some.
What was me?
Well, the problem is that things are being spun in all kind of different ways. You can't trust anybody.
No.
And that goes for media from both sides of the political and social and cultural fence. Everybody's got their own motive, and they're trying to achieve that.
All that dumb shit.
I love that Ozzy song. I don't know.
Yeah.
Don't ask me. I don't know.
It's almost like Ozzy is talking about how he's just some dude.
Just some dude.
Yeah.
Just some dude on the street.
This is
everybody talking to him like he's Jesus.
Yeah.
He's just some dude.
Yeah, that's all celebrities, man.
And I got a problem with people who would even go up to him and think he was some kind of, he's just some kind of...
He's just some dude.
He's just some dude. I'm telling you, I ran into that man when he was big in the 80s, and we had an editor of our high school newspaper.
Yeah.
That was very anti. Whoops, sorry. Ozzy, of course, and so in little articles.
Wait,
about
is
stuff
this the person? Is this the person that upon seeing the cover of I think it was the album, it was either Bark at the Moon or the Ultimate Sin album cover? It was like him, and he's like that. He's like, it's like Ozzy's head, but it's the body of a dragon and a woman with like long, bushy, curly hair.
That was Ultimate Sin.
Okay,
but
is that the same person?
No,
that
it's
was
not
like
the same person. It was like 1985, and the Ultimate Sin by Ozzy Osbourne was played on this big screen TV in the student lounge of the college.
Ozzy looks good in a cowboy hat for some reason.
He does look good in a cowboy hat, and she was, and it was shot in the dark. And
of course,
this young girl who I'm assuming was my age, around 18, 19 years old, and she was like, "Why is he doing that to her?" I said, "It's a fucking video.
It's a music video." This is the same person.
I don't understand that. Where does that come from?
I don't know. I mean,
it's theater.
That's the same. That's the same type of bullshit.
Oh.
That's the same type of bullshit that I think you told me that there was like some sort of Home Alone short film where they got the guy originally
Macaulay
Culkin, and he's like some taxi fucking driver, and the guy's like, "Hey, you're that kid," and then one thing leads to another. He's like, quote unquote, torturing him in his basement and all that shit, and the audience is like, "I can't believe
they're horrified."
Yeah, they're horrified. I can't believe Kevin just snaps like that.
Kevin.
Yeah, and it's like, it's a fucking movie.
It's entertainment.
Yeah,
I will never forget reading about one of my favorite films is called The Color Purple.
Or
one of my favorite actors. One of my favorite actors is Danny Glover.
Oh, he's awesome.
He is awesome. And
I bet he got shit shit for
Oh,
that
you know
movie.
he did. It's like, what the heck, people?
That actually makes sense because I don't know what people are talking about when they say this. I remember there's a huge joke like 5, 8, probably 10 years ago talking about Ben Roethlisberger and how everyone was giving him and his agent shit because on some TV show, it was probably a TV show, I don't see Ben Roethlisberger being a movie star.
No.
Something about he played a rapist on like a thing and no one would leave him alone about it.
Oh, that story's a little bit bigger than...
I figured it was, but I'm like, it was a fucking if hypothetically this was a TV show, and I'm not being glib about a real life situation.
I don't really think it was a TV show.
Okay, but you know what I mean.
I know.
I'm just like, shit like that will follow these people. It's why people get typecasted.
And it's why people who are celebrities.
Yeah.
You know,
they get as much.
Like,
yeah.
It's just a movie.
Yeah. Same thing with
Shatner.
Yeah.
Shatner.
Yes.
I love that SNL sketch. I saw it live, and it was like, have you ever kissed a girl? I mean.
Oh, where he was like getting interviewed by these Trekkies.
The Trekkies,
and they're asking him some
like,
shit.
what was the combination to the safe in your stateroom, whatever.
Yeah. And William Shatner's just like, get a life. Get a life. Yeah.
Get a life. And then Phil Hartman, God rest his soul, he comes up and, after arguing with Shatner, talks about, go, okay, this is Captain Kirk, and they said that he was doing his portrayal of the evil Captain Kirk from that
one episode.
From the one episode, Mirror, Mirror, I think
Mirror,
it was.
Mirror, yeah.
And it was like, all right, head warp factor 10, because the mob was going to raise up and tear him down.
Yeah. How about that? Yeah, okay. How about that?
How am I not to think people are stupid?
I don't know.
How am I not? Okay, you're an asshole. No, I'm not. You're an idiot.
Yeah, that's actually that actually.
Why can't?
Two things. Well, actually, this kind of leads to the segment. This is also why I give a lot of people who are in horror movies a lot of respect.
Right.
Not just because of that aspect of it, but oftentimes, what's so weird about it is, not all the time, but a lot of the time, the kindest people in the film industry are the people that do horror movies, be it actors or producers or like... You never heard Sam Raimi have a sex scandal, have you?
No, I haven't.
Dino De Laurentiis, who the fuck made the zombie movies? George Romano. I think there was something towards the end, but overall...
Look at Roger Corman.
Roger Corman... Well, he was B-movie. That's kind of in the line.
But he did a ton of them. His works and everything.
But I'm just saying, out of all the members of the movie making community, I hear the less really fucked up shit around the horror community, unless it's something tragic like a complete poltergeist incident where 80% of the cast just die within the next 2 years.
That's a good point.
So you see what I mean?
Most of the weird stuff happens to the people that are like Bundy.
Exactly.
You don't expect it. You look at him.
Exactly.
He's so
you hear all this like the Alec Baldwin stuff.
Yeah.
Alec Baldwin doesn't do horror movies.
No.
Him and his ilk, all the people who don't do these really dark stuff for the most part, they're the ones you gotta watch out for. I always watch these movie interviews with like the actors and writers and producers of these horror shows or movies.
Right.
And they are either like, they appear to be some of the most pleasant people that you could meet. I don't know. There might be just some camaraderie to it. I saw that aspect with like, I'm gonna fuck this guy's name up because I always do. Mads Mikkelsen.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the guy that played Hannibal Lecter on that show and a bunch of other stuff.
I love his stuff.
Yeah, And, the evil guy in the Casino Royale with Daniel Craig, who he's finally fucking retiring. I didn't hate Daniel Craig, but I want a new guy. Because I'm bored.
Sure.
The writing sucks.
Yeah, it's
Casino Royale was probably like it for the Daniel Craig.
It really was.
Yeah, because everything else was either just very lackluster, or you could have done that better. But, he always plays these really Mads always plays these really interesting role. To our point of view, not counting the rest of the world, just really dark, sinister. You would like his portrayal of Hannibal Lecter if you ever sat down and watched it. It's good.
Yeah.
It's insane, but it's good.
Well, I mean,
and he's a fucking goofball.
Yeah. Well, he's got a new movie out, but it's in his native language.
Yeah, that's what subtitles are for.
That's what subtitles are for. Yeah.
Pussy. You people who won't read subtitles, fuck you.
Take it easy now. Yeah, no, I get it.
Shit like that happens all the time.
Yeah.
Where people let the characters become the actors, and I say, how about we separate the artist from the art?
I've always said is, these celebrities, they act like Jesus because people treat them like Jesus.
Yeah.
And I don't get that.
I don't get it either.
I mean, it was really bad. I remember when, I was working on the West Coast, and they talked about celebrities and movie stars like they were people next door. And that was their... That was their gossip. That was their 80% of their conversation at work. Yeah. And I'm like, I'm not going to spend that much time talking about... I don't have anything to do with it.
They're just people.
It's just people. It's the same. And I've heard people just sit around and talk about... soap operas.
Yeah.
Between two people. Girl, did you see what Johnny did yesterday?
Yeah.
I can't believe it. It's just a TV show.
I don't know.
And I understand that if you want to entertain it on that level, it's okay.
Well, I mean,
but if you can I don't like this this person as an individial because they play a negative character on a show.
Yeah, exactly.
You're a nut.
Yeah, you're a nut.
I mean, how else am I supposed to look at that?
I don't know, man.
Who was the actress who did Mommy Dearest?
I know. Yes.
I'm glad she
Joan.
No. She did the movie was about Joan Crawford.
Yeah. The lady that
Jessica
played.
Lange.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now
She got an Oscar for that.
I'm glad she got an Oscar for it because basically it was a death knell. For her career, so far as getting big roles, she played it so well.
Yeah, she went too far.
She went full retard, okay?
Yeah, like in just like Tropic Thunder.
It's like Tropic Thunder.
She went too hard.
She went full retard and she got an award for it, but she never got a big role after that.
And everything afterwards was just the same.
She played it so well.
Yeah.
People just naturally assumed that she was that type of person.
Of course.
And we all have those aspects within us.
Sure, but that's a fucking movie.
I know, and it's a movie.
And Joan Crawford
and all she did was
dead.
Yeah, and all Jessica Lange did was turn in the performance that she was paid to perform.
Yeah. So I don't know I don't know.
I don't understand people. I really don't.
I don't understand people.
I'm not supposed to think people are stupid, but when I see stuff like that, what am I? You know what I'm saying?
No, here's the thing. You can think people are stupid. I do all the time.
Sure.
No, let's just face it. Everybody does it. Don't judge.
Yeah, don't judge. Everybody does it.
It's like I was talking about at the beginning. It's like every time you introduce me to your friend and then they say or do something and I was like, you're fucking stupid. Why are you hanging out with this person? And why the fuck am I hanging out with you? I can't help that.
Right. Don't do drugs, kids.
No, don't do drugs. Stop laughing at me.
Anyway.
I don't know. I guess this is why I like people who do horror is because they have to be a good person. Not just because, not just, because of the guy that played It.
In the Addams Family?
No. Pennywise.
Oh, yeah.
The new Pennywise guy? Every time I watched interviews leading up to that movie, the first part 1 and part 2, I was so hyped. I mean, I knew part 2 wasn't going to be as good as part 1. It wasn't good in the miniseries. It sure as hell not today. It was okay.
It was okay.
Yeah. I felt that they did a good job. It just wasn't part 1 where I was like, ah! So, That dude, who, he's a Skarsgård.
Right.
There's like 7 Skarsgårds.
Oh, really?
And like 2 or, no, about 4 or 5 of them are in the acting community.
Sure.
So there's like Dad Skarsgård, there's Eric Northman, who is playing Eric Northman again, and then there's the guy that played Pennywise. I think he was a werewolf at some point. I don't remember. So I have to preface this because I get confused. And that guy, when he was on set as Pennywise, he was so scared he was going to traumatize those kid actors. And I respected that.
Right.
Because, obviously if he would have been like, man, fuck them kids. If he would have done that, the movie wouldn't have been as good.
It wouldn't have been as good.
Yeah.
No.
But no, he did it as sincere and, he was good. What was ironic?
What's that?
The guy playing Pennywise.
Yeah.
You know who was his best friend on that entire set? The one child actor who was his bestest friend.
No, I don't know.
The guy that played Georgie.
Oh,
kid. The kid that played Georgie.
Is that the kid from?
The kid in the yellow raincoat.
Was he in Stranger Things?
I don't remember. No,
no, the girl.
The girl was. No, but what I mean is the inciting incident for the story, Georgie.
Right.
How brutal, that interaction between Pennywise and Georgie.
Right.
That actor, that kid loved him the most, and I can't help but find that funny.
Well, I mean, he was concerned about his well-being.
Yeah. And no, I mean, the kid liked him too.
That's what I'm saying. He was concerned about the kid's well-being.
Indeed. And I'm just like, that's so funny. On screen, it's horrible, but in real life, they're very chill with each other. I can't help but go, that's funny. Somewhere out there, that's gotta be funny on some level.
Sure.
So, or at least ironic. So, I don't know. Yeah, you have to be a nice person in the horror community. I
guess. Everybody would be looking at you a little different if you weren't.
Yeah. Because let's face it, I think there was
you don't hear half the stuff that happens. They cover up a lot of that.
Oh, they have to.
They have to.
Because sometimes reality is stranger than fiction.
Yeah, people getting out of bounds and acting stupid.
Yeah. And sometimes reality is a lot scarier than fiction.
Oh, yeah. People don't want to believe reality, though.
No, they
love
don't.
the fantasized comic book version of things.
Not only that, but if you realize, I don't mean like the fire-breathing dragons and shit, but like around like true crime and stuff like that.
Yeah. People
don't want to believe that there are folks out there that can do that, because people describe them as monsters. And monsters inherently has a more fictional tangibility to them.
Yeah.
When, just like the celebrities, just like the musicians, just like the people being put on a pedestal, the true crime, like murders, serial killers, etc.
Yeah.
They're just a guy too.
Just a guy.
Or just a gal
just
too.
A gal.
They could be anybody.
Could be anybody.
And people want to believe that stuff like that is fictional, like they...
Oh, they don't want to believe it's true.
Because if they understood that it was true, it would make a lot more... It would not give comfort to many people.
It's like eating in restaurants. You don't know what goes on back there.
No, you don't.
You just want the final product to show up on your table and look good.
I am kind of under the suggestion that the back rooms of a restaurant, especially one that's been closed off to the public, like there's no peephole.
Yeah.
I can imagine there's a lot of cussing that goes on back there.
I mean,
I imagine that.
It's not a dysfunctional situation because you
No. I don't mean a dysfunctional...
couldn't operate if it was.
No, I don't mean in a dysfunctional way. I just mean, like, that's just how you guys talk to each other. Like, this motherfucker Ricky... While you're, like, flipping eggs and shit.
I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but...
Yeah.
It's not as prevalent.
Yeah. No, it's cool.
You're just pounding that rock.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, no, I don't mean in a negative way.
Product on the plate.
Mm-hmm. I don't don't mean it in a negative way. I just mean like, yeah, I can see that the word motherfucker is getting tossed around in the kitchen of a restaurant.
Oh, yeah.
Like every third word, and depending on which geographical location you live in.
I don't know about every third word, but
I guess it just depends where you live.
Sure.
So,
oh, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So, like, I've never heard of, like, I have never heard of, like, a 100% Zen restaurant kitchen. You know what I mean?
I hadn't even thought about that.
Like, even, like, obviously the most stereotypical stuff is, like, you know, Hell's Kitchen type stuff. Gordon Ramsay's an asshole or whatever. People scream at you in like these food trucks out in like Philadelphia or New York or places like that. Waffle House in some instances.
Ain't no screaming ever took place in the kitchen I ever worked in.
Yeah, exactly.
Somebody will get there.
Ass whooped. But I don't hear about these. I don't hear about these restaurant situations where the chefs in the back are like 100% even keel, just as pleasant and as easygoing as can be. Like 100% across the board. No one in there is like, God damn it, motherfucker.
Well, you know, Ramsay is, you know,
he's Scottish.
Well, it doesn't matter. He's created a persona.
Sure.
And he's actually bottled himself up.
Yeah.
Because now if he tries to get away from that persona, people are going to ask him what's wrong with him.
He kind of has a little bit.
Yeah, he has a little bit.
Well, let me phrase that. He's probably softened.
He was uber obnoxious in the way they presented him at the very beginning when he first showed up.
I basically have... The internet has kind of come to a conclusion about how his persona has evolved, because he's been on several cook shows where, like, you know, instead of it being Iron Chef, it's like Child Iron Chef, where they have, like, 6 kids, actual kids, and they have the kids, like, cook for them or bake shit or whatever. You know, do kitchen stuff.
Right.
And then Gordon Ramsay's, he's one of the judges. And initially, if you first see the show, you're thinking, oh my God, Gordon Ramsay's going to yell at a child.
It's going to scar the child for life.
He's going to scar the child for life. Hey, guess, because
his growth.
Because here's the thing. Every single of these 3-panel judge shows, like there's a judge, there's like 3 or 4 or 5 people. There's always an asshole judge.
Oh, yeah.
You know, the guy from American Idol, Simon Cowell.
Gordon Ramsay is definitely the Simon Cowell of cook shows.
Yeah, except for this time.
Really?
He does not scar children for life on that show.
Does someone else do it?
Yeah, actually. Like, on
Can you remember their name?
No.
See?
Yeah, exactly. No, what I'm getting at is on the cooking show where it's just the teenagers and the kids.
Yeah.
He's not the asshole chef. He's actually, you know, he's giving them firm criticisms.
Sure.
But
he's not screaming at them?
No. And
calling their ancestors' names.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, if, like, there's a kid who... There was, like, this one clip of this kid who, like, their pie caught fire in the oven or something, and the kid is just about to lose their shit.
Right.
Gordon Ramsay, like, ran over to him, and they're like, oh, precious, it's okay. Like, being genuine, like, it's...
We can relate to that.
Trying to soothe the child, yeah. And then... The internet has come to the fact that he's kind to the children because they're kids. They're just getting into it. They're honing their craft. They haven't developed their skills. Right. And he rips apart grown adults who say they have the skills to pay the bills, who say they know how to cook, have been cooking, and they make shit.
He's just trying to tear them down and rebuild them.
Basically. Kind of like the army.
Kind of like the military, yeah. I can deal with that. Yeah. No, I'm going to tell you something about somebody that's a chef or somebody that cooks for a living.
Yeah.
They have a good heart because it is a servant heart
that cooks
for other people. It really
Unless you're Bobby Flay, in which case you're just an asshole. Fuck that guy. Or whatever.
Yeah.
That guy don't know shit about Southern cooking.
I guess. I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
I've heard his name, but I don't follow him.
Bobby Flay, if I remember correctly, he was like I don't follow the cooking shows either way, except for like Gordon Ramsay and Guy Fieri, just because he's still trying to do the frosted tips, and it's like, dude, just give it up.
Yeah, just wear a hat.
Just wear a hat or dye your hair red or something. Do something. No more frosted tips, but whatever. Cause Guy Fieri he has done these incidents. I'm not 100% sure. Well, I don't know. I kind of want to be of the mind of I would rather take a sincere. I would rather take an insincere act of generosity over a sincere apology. Or genuine apathy or something like that. You know what I mean?
I'm trying. You would rather take an insincere act of
generosity over a sincere act of empathy or apathy.
Apathy. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Meaning, I would rather receive something, albeit it doesn't come from a good place, but it serves me or the situation at hand.
Oh, yeah.
Versus a complete lack of anything.
That's how you transition out of being a jerk.
Exactly.
I mean, you have to do things that you don't want to do.
And
you don't feel a natural need to follow through on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And Guy Fieri was like there would be incidences like hurricanes and tornadoes or basically natural incidences where he and his crew would go down and cook for the people the survivors of the incident.
That's cool.
So that's what I mean by I don't know if he's doing it sincerely or insincerely, but those people got fed that day.
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't know the whole situation with Bobby Flay, but he's apparently just a big. Apparently just an asshole who doesn't know anything about Southern cooking, and we would know about Southern cooking.
Yeah,
I don't fucking know. Yeah, so basically, there are worse people than Gordon Ramsay, apparently. So.
Well, that's the thing. That's what I try to do. It's so easy to distinguish to me, for someone to show you themselves, even if it's coarse.
Yes.
I find that more reassuring than someone who you can't quite read, who's wearing a mask, not really showing you who they are, that sort of thing.
Sure.
So. There's an honesty, that abrasiveness, there's an honesty to that. That you don't find in a lot of other things. People trying to cover up.
Trying to hide something. It almost feels like a trick.
It does. It really does.
Yeah.
But, it's just our human nature, and we cover these things up. We cover things about it. And people that are self-aware of it,
they can get past it.
They can cover these things. I mean, I it took me years. There was some hard stuff about me that I just had. I believe a good term would be saying would be to fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
And
here's the thing:
if you're genuinely motivated to be a better person, then it'll eventually show up.
Yeah.
You just have you have
put
to
the time in.
Put the time in and the effort in.
Just like anything. I mean, this New Year's resolution. Well, I don't know. I don't do New Year's resolutions. I do, I want to start in December. I want to start in December so I can do a trial run type of New Year's resolutions.
Oh, yeah.
Type of New Year's resolutions.
Yeah, that'll work.
A couple years ago, that's how I got into my belly dancing. I didn't really have one last year because of the death.
Yeah.
So, and, basically in December is when I do the trial run of something.
Sure.
And then if I go into the new year and I continue doing it, it's like, oh, okay, this will work then. So, I decided that my free trial of December was going to be art in general.
Cool.
So I've got like charcoals, pastels. I've had drawing. I'm gonna attempt to do some Bob Ross training. They got a new Bob Ross.
Happy little trees. They got a new
Bob Ross.
Oh, you mean an individual?
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Does he got a fro?
No, he does not.
Oh.
Yeah, I was pissed. I'm going to YouTube. Bob Ross Because he's got an official YouTube channel. I'm subscribed. That's him. That's not what him. Keeping the Bob Ross dream alive is this guy.
Nice shirt.
Yeah, nice shirt. Oh, that painting looks awesome. It's not even done.
Cool.
Oh, hang on. I don't know who the fuck this guy is. And this was like a couple months ago. This was like a couple weeks ago. Last year. This guy's going.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a new Bob Ross. I don't know who the fuck this guy is.
Keeping the Bob Ross dream alive.
Nick Hankins, or whatever.
Whatever.
Him. That guy.
That guy. All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, apparently, Bob Ross lives on, in a sense.
He's Bob Ross's disciple.
Maybe. Keep that up.
Not direct disciple, because his hair should be better, but anyway.
Yeah. In all honesty,
nice haircut.
Yeah, nice haircut. So, so technically, they're still making the joy of painting. It's just now under Bob Ross's name.
Bob Ross style.
Yeah, his style.
Okay.
You know?
Right. Sure.
And honestly, I'm like, hey, you know what? I like that. You know?
Sure.
To an extent, I enjoy that. You know, they're keeping going. That whole thing of, you don't have to be Michelangelo. You don't have to go to school half your life.
No.
You can paint.
Well, you just
like you can draw.
Whatever your gift is.
Yes.
Just do it.
Just do it.
And the only reason we know anything about Bob Ross is he just happened to be somebody that
had a gift.
And he just decided to do it, and he made content.
Yeah.
And that's why we know who he is.
Mm-hmm.
If he had just continued to paint in his house or his garage or whatever,
no one would know who he was.
No one would know who he was.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he did a lot of that stuff for public television, which basically was
that was an act of servitude in and of itself.
So yeah, contribution.
Indeed. So I find it funny,
That's cool.
I find it funny that Bob Ross inspired so many people. Like, if it wasn't
Ditto. I can remember being a kid.
If it wasn't for Bob Ross, if I remember correctly, Rob Liefeld, I think he's the one guy that made Deadpool.
Yes, Rob Liefeld.
We would not have Deadpool without Bob Ross.
Right.
Because remember in the Deadpool 2 trailer, the initial one, it had Deadpool as Bob Ross.
Deadpool as Bob Ross.
God, I love cocaine. That line from the trailer, yeah. Because apparently Rob Liefeld either saw Bob Ross or grew up.
Probably grew up watching his TV show on public television.
Probably followed him along. Yeah. Probably followed along with him, and now we have Deadpool.
Now we have Deadpool. There you go.
So don't tell me Bob Ross wasn't important.
It was extremely important.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Plus, it kind of falls in line. I think this is like months ago talking about like the internet's trinity of wholesomeness.
Internet trinity of wholesomeness.
Yes.
Please explain.
You know how in real life we have the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost? On the internet, yes, this is real.
Oh.
Hey, you asked.
I did.
Yeah.
Let me have it.
We have Bob Ross, Steve Irwin, and Mr. Rogers. Bob Ross.
You can do worse.
Yeah, Bob Ross. Bob Ross represents be kind to yourself. Steve Irwin is be kind to animals. Mr. Rogers, be kind to others.
Sure.
That's what I mean by the trinity of wholesomeness. I don't think this is an actual religion, but somewhere it is an actual religion.
Then there's the spaghetti monster.
Yeah, then there's the spaghetti monster people, yeah.
You religious people, look, man. There's a lot of dumb.
There's a lot of dumb shit out there.
There's a lot of dumb stuff out there. Okay, man. It's just. It's just sociology. It's human beings. Yeah. Okay.
Even if it's a joke, guess what? You did it anyway. There was before the panini happened. Did you know that there was like an actual Pastafarian wedding on a pirate ship?
I would not doubt it.
Yeah.
White people.
Yeah, it's something like that.
nobody that makes minimum wage would spring for something like that. Let me tell you.
I don't know. Probably. Look, all I'm saying is because basically that whole spaghetti monster is the Pastafarian, and apparently, according to the lore, pirates initially discovered the religion, quote-unquote religion, and apparently they said it was like a joke wedding, and while I do believe you, that doesn't take away the fact that you did it anyway.
Right.
That's kind of my whole deal.
You want to talk to me about what's going on right now? I'm trying to figure out how you got there in the first place.
Exactly.
That's exactly it.
Yeah, it's the whole thing of, we're doing it as a pastiche. Well, that's well and good. However, that doesn't change the fact that you did it anyway.
Right.
You telling me that it's one big joke or a pastiche means that, yeah, you can look at it that way. You still did it, so you're basically using this as a cop-out.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, just say that you did it.
Yeah.
Just say that you did it. It's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You can say, I mean, obviously...
People get their viewpoints ridiculed so much by others, and they just say, oh, I was just doing it for a joke.
Exactly. Well, like, first of
all...
all...
Be who you are.
Yeah, not only that, but also, don't gaslight me.
Yeah, don't gaslight me, bro.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah.
You know, let people know that this is you, or let people know that you're an asshole. It's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay.
You know.
Some people make quite a good living off of being that way.
Indeed. So.
Look at Howard Stern.
Shit.
He's a billionaire because he's an asshole.
God, why can't I have that job?
Exactly.
I'm getting there. I'm a personal trainer.
Yeah.
Even though I'm not an asshole to my clients, I'm still telling people what to do.
You are worthless and weak.
Yeah.
Now drop it. Give me 20.
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much.
So. All right.
Put some stank on it.
Exactly. All right. I'm starting to run out of steam.
Yeah, me too.
You got anything else?
No, I'm good.
All right.
So. Had a little nap today, a little fresh. I've been feeling like a bump on a log the last couple of podcasts. Just been.
Yeah. But you got your power nap in.
Got my power nap in today.
Yeah. I mean, I got to rest up because my week is not going to be as busy as I had anticipated, but that's neither here nor there.
Nope.
And I got
Sorry.
Got a concert up this upcoming Friday.
We can talk about that next week.
Oh, I know we will. I'm just prepping that.
Cool.
And I'm going to have fun.
Okay.
All right. So, yeah, I'm done pretty much. All right. Well, that's it, folks. Was your host, Bel-E.
And I was your co-host, Mr. Scratch.
And we'll see you guys next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday.
Bye.
Get off.